So I wanted to explain the name of this channel because regulated enough probably sounds a bit random at first. It's not the most aesthetic name, it's not really polished, but that's kind of the point. So before we get into it, I want to really welcome you to the channel, and I'm really, really thankful that you've found me and that you're listening and watching, and obviously forgiving my appalling video editing skills and really unpolished kind of feel to this channel, really. For a long time, I genuinely thought I was broken, like fundamentally wrong in a way that other people weren't. And I figured out that sometimes good enough is good enough. Near enough is good enough. Nobody's got this stuff down. This life doesn't come with a handbook, right? And apparently, nor does making a YouTube video, or at least it's too boring for me to read. So sometimes you've just got to do it. And sometimes you've just got a choice to get on with it in the best way that you can, and regulated enough, edited enough is good enough. So anyway, explaining why the channel is called Regulated Enough. I couldn't regulate my emotions properly at all. I'd overthink everything. I'd feel too much or absolutely nothing at all. I've always had really, really intense emotions, and I continue to have intense emotions, although they're massively more under control than they ever were. But for a long time, I kept trying to fix myself, be calmer, be less reactive, be more normal, whatever that is. I've discovered that there really isn't normal, and if there is a normal, it's really dull, and I don't want it. So I chased kind of this idea that I'd wake up one day and finally be healed and fully regulated and fully together, like the other women I saw who ran their lives and appointments and doing this and taking their kid to this, and they've always got wipes. They've always got a notepad. They've always got a pen. They always make things just on time. I kind of thought that I wanted that. I kind of thought once I fixed the stuff that was wrong with me, I could have that, like some finished kind of version of a person. But that day never came. And what did happen instead was a really slow, uncomfortable realization that I actually wasn't broken. I was somebody who'd experienced stuff, a lot of stuff, that fortunately for a lot of people they don't experience, and a lot of people have a lot worse than I've had. But I had experienced things, and my nervous system had to adapt, and on top of that, I'm neurodivergent, so the way I process the world, feel things, respond to things was never ever going to look typical or normal. And at one point, slowly, all of a sudden, not really sure what it was, it hit me. I wasn't broken. I was a child in an adult body who never really learned how to feel safe, and I did learn. And it took a lot of good therapists to help me learn, and it took one really good one who basically said to me, look, there's nothing wrong with you. You've survived all of this stuff. And in that moment, I can still remember that pivotal moment really, really clearly. I realised I wasn't a victim anymore. I was a survivor. And actually, I'm amazing. I'd done that. I'd survived every one of those days, every one of those traumatic moments. And I was doing all right. And when you see it like that, it changes the way you talk to yourself. It becomes much less what's wrong with me and much more, that makes sense, So where does regulated enough come in? It came from letting go of this idea that I had to be perfectly calm, perfectly healed, perfectly in control all the time, because honestly, that's just not real. It's not real for anyone. Nobody. Not even if you think so. Not if you look under the surface behind a closed door. Nobody is like that. There are still days where I overthink. I mean, I'm overthinking that noise that just went off in the background. Do I edit it out, or do I just carry on? I'm just going to carry on. There are still days where I overthink. I shut down. I get overwhelmed. I feel things way too deeply for my liking, because it's kind of painful and it's a lot and it's exhausting. But instead of seeing that as a failure, I ask, am I regulated enough to get through this moment? Not perfect, just enough to pause, enough not to spiral completely. That's a key one. And enough to come back to myself at some point. Can I allow myself to feel like this, as unpleasant as it might be, knowing that I'll come back to myself at some point? And weirdly, that changed everything. It took the pressure off. So this channel is not about being perfect. It's incredibly imperfect, and you know what? I'll lose viewers. Some people will tut and roll their eyes and think that I could do a million things and to make this better and pay somebody, and I'll learn. I'll get there, but sometimes you've got to start somewhere, and that's the whole point. I don't want to be some calm, emotionless, healed version of myself. I want to be me. I've earned every bit of being me. So this channel is about being human, messy, emotional, sometimes quite chaotic, but also self-aware, and also accepting that we do things differently. I'm kind of weird and I like it. Genuinely, my brain works in strange ways. I find weird stuff funny. I think deeply about absolutely everything. Sometimes I say stuff just because I think it's funny, and I think, go on, see if you can get away with it. I'm all right with that. Does it put some people off? Absolutely. Do I care? Not in the slightest. What is normal anyway? Who decided that? And why are we all trying so hard to fit into something that actually just doesn't fit us? It's like when you go for a job and you're thinking about, am I good enough? Have I got the right qualifications? Have I got the right experience? Am I the right kind of personality? How often do we actually think about whether that job's right for us, whether we like them? We're so desperate half the time, either for the money or, the status, whatever it is. I don't really care about status, but we're so busy, preoccupied about whether we fit in, that actually we don't really think much about whether life, stuff, jobs, people, relationships fit us. So yeah, regulated enough isn't about having it all together. Definitely. It's about learning to live with yourself without constantly trying to become someone else. So some days will feel calm, some days won't, some days you'll handle stuff well, and some days you won't. But that's okay. Just keep going. If you're here, you're probably figuring lots of this stuff out. So hopefully you'll feel like you're in the right place. And I'm really glad you're here. Thanks.